Some stories fade with time, buried beneath silence, lost in forgotten files, or dismissed as mysteries that will never be solved. But behind every case is a voice that was never heard, a truth still waiting in the dark. This channel is dedicated to the victims, the unanswered questions, and the stories that refuse to disappear. Because somewhere, someone still knows what happened. Welcome to Cries, Unheard in the Darkness. It was 3 days before Christmas, 1977, in Whitehall, Pennsylvania. The holiday rush was reaching its peak. The Whitehall Mall was a sea of tinsel, frantic shoppers, and the smell of roasted nuts. But in the dark, quiet corners of the rear parking lot, behind the massive Sears store, something was waiting. 20-year-old Pamela Ann Pollock was doing what any devoted young wife would do. She was waiting to pick up her husband, Ronald, from his shift at the mall. She sat in her prized possession, a white 1975 Firebird. But when Ronald walked out of those employee doors at 10 p.m., he didn't find a warm car and a smiling wife. He found a nightmare. A shattered window, a single, devastating shot, and a mystery that has remained frozen in the Pennsylvania winter for nearly 50 years. To understand the tragedy, we have to look at Pamela's final hours. Pamela, formerly Pamela Yeakel, had been married to Ronald for just over a year. They lived in the Strawberry Hill development in Catasauqua. By all accounts, they were a hardworking, happy young couple. On December 22nd, Pamela spent the day in a classic holiday tradition, shopping with her sister, Susan. They navigated the crowds, bought gifts, and shared in the excitement of the season. Around 8:45 p.m., Pamela dropped her sister and their shopping bags off at her stepmother's house in East Texas, Pennsylvania. She had a schedule to keep. Ronald's shift at the Sears department store ended at 10 p.m. Whitehall detectives later timed the drive. Even driving cautiously, which Pamela was known for, she would have arrived at the mall between 9:15 and 9:30 p.m. But here is where the first puzzler, as Chief Detective Holubowski called it, appears. Pamela didn't go inside. Usually, she would wait for Ronald in the warmth of the store. That night, for reasons we may never know, she stayed in the car, and she chose to park far away from the building, in a desolate area behind Sears. At approximately 10 p.m., a coworker of Ronald's punched out and walked to the lot. He passed the Firebird and noticed something jarring. The passenger side window was completely blown out. Inside, slumped over, was Pamela. The scene was grisly and confusing. Pamela had been shot once. The killer used what ballistics experts described as a large-caliber handgun. The barrel had been pressed almost directly against the hood of her ski jacket before the trigger was pulled. The bullet entered the left side of her head, just above the ear, and exited through the right temple. She was still alive when help arrived, but she never regained consciousness. She passed away the following day, leaving a hole in the community that has never been filled. But the physical evidence told a strange story. Pamela was found in the passenger seat. However, we know she drove there. To get from the driver's side to the passenger side in a 1975 Firebird isn't easy. There's a high center console and a gear shift in the way. Detectives believe she either voluntarily got out and walked around the car to let someone in, or she was ordered at gunpoint to move over. Did she see a friend? Or was she facing a monster? Whitehall police were frustrated from the start. They began with the husband, Ronald. It is standard procedure to start there. Ronald told police he had asked Pamela to pick him up early because he thought he might get off before 10 p.m. However, when police checked his time card at Sears, it showed he only arrived for work a few minutes earlier than usual. It was a small discrepancy, but in a murder case, every second matters. Then there was the location. Why park so far back? Some theorized she was meeting someone. Others believed she simply wanted an easy exit once the mall closed. Police searched for witnesses. It was a busy shopping night just 3 days before Christmas. The lot should have been crawling with people, yet no one claimed to see a large-caliber handgun. No one reported hearing the window shatter. No one saw a killer slip away into the December night. The Pollock case wasn't happening in a vacuum. The Lehigh Valley was on edge. Just 2 years earlier, in April 1975, a woman named Lisa Marie Bendikovitz was found strangled in a field near Lehigh Dairy. And in 1968, the skeletal remains of Jose Ortiz Pabon were found tied to a tree near Whitehall High School. Was there a predator stalking the Whitehall area? Or was Pamela's death a targeted hit, disguised as a random act of violence? Police explored the compromised situation theory, the idea that a witness may have seen something embarrassing or illegal and was too afraid to come forward. The sheer brutality of the execution, the gun pressed to her jacket, suggests an intimacy or a level of cold-bloodedness that goes beyond a simple carjacking. Nothing was reported stolen. This wasn't a robbery gone wrong. This was an execution. Years turned into decades. The auburn-haired 20-year-old who loved her Firebird became a tragic footnote in Lehigh County history. The threads, already slender in 1977, have all but snapped. Pamela Pollock would be in her late 60s today. She should have seen dozens more Christmases, watched her family grow, and lived the life she was planning as she sat in that parking lot. If you have any information regarding the case of Pamela Pollock at the Whitehall Mall in 1977, please contact the Whitehall Police Department or Lehigh County detectives. Thank you for listening to Cries, Unheard in the Darkness. If this story stayed with you, you're not alone. Subscribe, because the darkness always has more to say. Until next time, listen carefully.